a very special abbreviated version of The Gun Show. We're here in Israel on a fact-finding mission, but I'm joined by my friend Dave Menzies because you were sort of an oracle on the trans issue long before we are where we are now. Tell us about the trans cat video that didn't see the light of day for a very, very long time.
Indeed, Sheila, 6 years in the making. I feel like I'm Nostradamus, although I wish I could translate the prediction to Super Bowl winners. But that aside, you might remember back in the early days of Rebel News, when we were Rebel Media, we went out to the Canadian Cat Show. When I say we, that was me and super producer and cameraman Ephraim. And the idea was, you know, transgenderism in 2017, it's kind of passé, isn't it? It's kind of been there, done that. What is next in this crazy world where men are saying they're women and vice versa? And I thought, you know what? Why don't I enter a cat in the Canadian National Cat Show, which was part of Pet Expo, and but I don't have a cat. No problem. I'll identify as a cat. And sure enough, I went in there. It was kind of quiet at first, Sheila, and then all hell broke loose. Quite frankly, I think they thought I was an animal activist as opposed to a trans cat, right?
Makes sense.
But it was never explained. I was frog marched out of there by security. And the thing is it never aired, as you know. And I think, you know, I
thought it was too risky. And we were trying to save you from yourself. Oh. I want to preserve some of your dignity, David, even if you don't.
Sheila, my dignity, that ship sailed a many moon ago. But yeah, but that, you know, that is the truth of the matter. You know, Sheila, and back then Hannah was part of deciding what got on air. And it just seemed to be less of a news item and more of something from Monty Python,
right,
circa 1972, something that didn't quite make it to prime time. And then what happened? Well, Sheila, the world caught up with us, right? You know, we came across Renee Detremont, a.k.a. Desiree Anderson. And this is a guy who identified as a woman. If you check out his picture, he's not even, I mean, at least Busty Lemieux puts on the fake boobs and the blonde wig. This is just a guy with an Adam's apple and 5 o'clock shadow, kind of like Ash Davis, the rugby player. And he identified as a woman with the ostensible policy reason to get into a women's shelter in Windsor. And of course, they let him in.
Yep.
And shockers, within days, Sheila, he is charged by the Windsor police with sexual assault, turns himself in. By the way, to this day, we went back to that shelter, I think it was back in July, to do a stand-up. Weren't even on the property. We were on the sidewalk. And the young 20-something woman who worked at the shelter came out, and they started doing the chant, trans women are real women. This is even after this fraudster allegedly sexually assaulted another shelter resident. Can you imagine what is the most ultimate safe space for women?
Yeah.
But some of these are women that are fleeing from physical violence.
Right, and this is also the believe all women crowd.
Yeah, and you know, and that's a very good point, Sheila, because even if you believe trans women are real women, and I certainly do not, what about a nefarious male who's a grifter, who's a misogynist, who's just using the trans excuse to get into intimate spaces of women? Do these social justice weirdos ever consider that?
Oh, hey, what you just saw there is a clip from my weekly full-length show, The Gun Show. It airs on Wednesday, but this is the internet. You can watch it whenever you feel like. You just have to become a subscriber to our paywalled premium content. Just go to rebelnewsplus.com to become a member today.